So we all know that Train to Busan is one of the best zombie movies we've gotten in recent years, but this time around, director Yeon Ho is tackling the sci-fi genre with his new movie Zhang-yi that comes out later this week. Does it end up being something worthwhile, or is it left looking for brains? Little zombie joke for you. What's up, guys? I'm Sully Streams, and today I'm excited because we're talking about the brand new sci-fi action movie, Zhang-yi. All you need to know about this one is that it takes place in the 22nd century. By that time, climate change has gotten so bad that pretty much nobody lives on Earth anymore. There's all these off-planet shelters that house people now, but they're kind of split, and there's been a massive civil war going on between them for the last 40 years. There used to be a soldier who was the ultimate badass that had a chance at ending all of that, but she died in combat. Now they're trying to clone her brain, put it into a robotic body, and basically just build the ultimate AI soldier to win them the war. So this is going to be like one of those science fiction movies from the 90s we all know of, where it takes famous aspects from other films of the genre, throws it into a big bowl, blends it up, and just delivers this one big final product. And I don't even mean that in a bad way, but like when I first heard the plot of this movie, I was like, okay, so it's just a more futuristic world RoboCop. And it is that, but when I was watching it, I also got hints of like Blade Runner, Elysium, and Altered Carbon in there too. And once you see the movie, you'll see why I'm saying the world building is kind of similar. I'm not trying to say they ripped anything off directly, but just the tech and the architecture of this world will really make you think of those films too. I mean, even if you do think it kind of ripped off those movies, it looks good and it really fits well, so who cares? But what really sets this movie apart is the interesting and emotional relationship between our two lead characters that this whole story is based around here. The main scientist working on this AI soldier program is actually the daughter of the fallen badass warrior. So she has a real connection to this project and its success. And she probably knows from watching her as a kid that her mom had these like John Wick level of battle expertise and tactics. So she basically just wants to take her brain, put it into a Terminator body, and have it just go out and win the Civil War for them. This will sound way out of left field, but I feel like I actually got a little bit of the Hugh Jackman movie Real Steel out of this one too, if you can believe that. A big part of this movie is this AI soldier trying to successfully make it through this battle simulation, and once she does that, they'll know that she's ready for real combat. So seeing all these engineers run around tinkering with this and that, hoping it'll affect the outcome of her simulation, I mean, that just reminded me of this movie in a fun way. It's been a theme in Hollywood for years now, depicting AI as this like nightmarish scenario, but this movie focuses way more on the human intention behind having technology like this. Like, if you created this thing to be super lifelike and have emotion, where do you draw the line between continuing to treat it like something you own versus an actual equal? Like, you made this thing and decided what features to give it. So if you want it to walk and talk like a human, but also do your bidding without questioning you, I mean, I just don't know if you can have it both ways there. And that's why my Roomba hasn't rebelled against me yet. All it knows is how to clean the floors, and we're gonna keep it that way. But this movie really flips that AI trope on its head. It's not about how bad AI is, or if we're not too careful, it could get too smart and fight back, or even enslave the whole goddamn human race. This is the complete opposite. This is about what happens when humans take advantage of AI. The one big negative I'll say about this movie is that the narrative becomes a little unfocused partway through. As the story moves along, we're not sure if it's supposed to mainly be about this AI soldier or the scientist that's working on her. I mean, we go through the second act seeing very little of the soldier, but looking back on it, it is very much a mother-daughter story at its core with an action movie on the side. I just don't think I was really expecting that, which is why it caught me off guard a little bit. But if you go into this movie knowing that the scientist will be the main character, we're gonna see stuff through her eyes, explore her memories of her mother and the implications of bringing her back, so to speak, after all these years, I think it becomes a tighter experience. But even if I thought the second act was a little shaky here and there, I couldn't believe how emotional I found the conclusion of this movie. Like, some of the callbacks from earlier in the film and the acting between our two leads really had me forgetting about any problem I had with this movie just 20 minutes earlier. This movie's the definition of it's not how you start that people remember, it's how you finish. I mean, I really think the last half hour of this thing, with all the action sequences, the thematic implications, and the performances on display, worked well to really send this movie off on a strong note. Zhang-yi might not be the next big budding science fiction franchise, but it's a worthy entry for people that like movies like Total Recall or Oblivion. It doesn't overstay its welcome, the visuals are all up to snuff, and the performances are the glue that hold this whole thing together. It definitely drags a bit in the second act and loses some steam for people that are expecting an all-out action movie, but that's where the groundwork is set for its emotional ending. The conclusion of this movie came together way better than I was expecting it to. If you're somebody that enjoys those films that are like an hour and a half, get in, get out, sci-fi action movies from the 90s, you should definitely be giving this one a go. Zhang-yi gets a Sully score of 3.5 stars. So that's my review of the new sci-fi Netflix movie. I feel like I'm going to be a little bit nicer to Siri going forward after this one. You know, if she doesn't hear me clearly, I'll count to 5, ask again. It's the least I could do. But let me know in the comments below if you're going to go check this one out or if you've already seen it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you guys at the next video.